Intelligent System Analytic Computer is activated. All ISAC systems are confirmed online. Data scanned. Downloading files.
What's up, guys? You listen to episode 144 of SITREP Radio, giving you the news and other happenings in the world of The Division. And this week we've got news on the private beta launching very soon, followed by a very special community episode, so make sure to stay tuned after the news for that. But first, my name is Mike. Joins me as always are my co-hosts Robert.
Hello.
And Luke.
Hello.
Hope you're both well and our listeners have had a great week. Also, welcome to any new listeners of the show. Right, straight to it, let's get down to some news.
State of the game.
Boys, are you hyped for next week?
Don't know what you're talking about.
Rob? Fucking hell, you must be really depressed. Or...
I don't know, what's happening next week?
Well,
Remind me.
If you don't know, there's a private beta launching next weekend.
What, for Anthem?
Oh.
Welcome, freelancers, to the Anthem podcast. Luke's like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
I'm out.
No, it's official. Next week, Ubisoft will be launching the private beta for those of you that have pre-ordered The Division 2.
Can I just take this opportunity to say this does leave us with somewhat of a problem for next week? Because the private beta goes live on the 7th of February, which is next Thursday, which is podcast recording day.
We're recording on Wednesday next week.
Are we? Cool. Thanks for telling me that in advance. So I didn't
Are
sound
we?
like a twat on the
No,
podcast.
I've just made that decision right now.
Executive decision made live on air.
I think that's the only decision you've ever made.
Yay me.
Oh my god.
It's grown so much this week.
It's a new job. It's
the new
making me
job.
make decisions.
It's all that thinking you think you've now got time to do. Anyway, this is a Division podcast, so I'm going to hand it over to Luke and let you tell the lovely people at home what's happening.
Well, in case you lived under a rock all week and didn't know that the private beta was coming next week, it is. As I said earlier, it's coming starting on the 7th of February, which is next Thursday. Runs all the way through to the 11th of February. You'll be able to preload it the day before it starts on the 6th. That's for all systems, so PC, Xbox, and PlayStation all at the same time. Once the beta goes live, you will have access to one character and be able to play through two of the main missions, which are Grand Washington Hotel and the Jefferson Trade Center missions. This is to give players a feel for the grander story that they want to tell through the Division 2's campaign. You'll also be able to explore various parts of the Washington map, including the Federal Triangle, the Smithsonian Museum, and the White House, which will be the new base of operations.
Boo.
Boo. The boo.
Hey, boo.
So that's pretty cool. That's already quite a slice of the game to try it, isn't it?
Yeah. The fact they're going to just basically go, there you go. There's like a load of sections of
some
the
cheese.
game that you can go play.
When you're exploring those areas of Washington that I've just mentioned, there will be side missions to unlock as well. So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
You'll also have available to you some of the PvE side activities, such as control points. I think that was a control point that were taken down in the E3 demo, wasn't it? Or the E3 cinematics. You'll also get to check out one of the three Dark Zones, Dark Zone East, which is the biggest of the three. There's the PvE introduction mission to the Dark Zone, which once you complete, you do then get access to the Dark Zone. That's accessible via the base of operations. There's an NPC in there that you need to go and talk to. And there is also access to one of the 4v4 dedicated PvP modes. Did they say which one that was? Did they say it was the skirmish one or the...
I can't honestly remember, to be honest.
I can't remember either. Talking about Endgame, the three level 30 characters, each with 3 specializations for you to try out. And you'll finally get to play one of the Endgame experiences, which is an invaded mission, which, from the trailer looks pretty awesome. I don't think anybody really knows many details about the invaded mission yet, do they? But obviously, that's one of the little secrets let out for the beta.
From what I'm understanding, you can play 1 to 7.
Yes.
And then at some point during the beta's lifespan, we're all going to get jumped to level 30 so we can experience all this.
As long as you've completed the Jefferson mission, you are. And you'll only be able to do that from the 8th of February. So basically, after the beta's launched, 8th of February, as long as you've completed the Jefferson mission, you will have access to the end game activities.
Cool.
Also, the 4v4 conflict mode that we will be playing in the beta is skirmish.
Sweet.
Which I'm really looking forward to. And it's kind of cool as well because we already know what skirmish is, so they're not kind of giving away how domination feels, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because when the game launches, you still want to have something new to play.
Yeah.
If you've already played domination, it's kind of like, well, I've already played this. I'm not saying the newness is going to have worn off, but it's kind of nice to holding that back and then be like, this is skirmish now, and you can jump in and play the new edition of skirmish.
I agree.
Can I just ask you guys' thoughts on the dog turret?
Okay, first thing that sprang to my mind was the prototype robot animatronic dog that Boston Dynamics have been building for like God knows how long. Have you guys seen that? This is a bit where you both go, no.
The fuck are you talking about, dude?
Did you never see any of this? The amount of Facebook videos I've seen where they've
a
just
dog
got
with a gun on his back. You've seen pictures of this.
No, but this is like a direct tangent from what they basically designed. So if you look at
here's me thinking
what was actually in the
Black
beta
Mirror.
trailer. Black Mirror.
Yeah, there was never an episode with like a killer dogs, robot dogs.
Maybe if there is, I can't remember off the top of my head now. But yeah, it's just so strange that it looks so similar to something that we've got in real life. I did put an image in show notes for you guys, so you can see kind of what it looks like. But it's very, very similar to, like, obviously the Division's version is like an updated take on it. But I was just pretty surprised.
It doesn't look anything like that, dude.
You know what I mean?
Do you know what I remember?
It.
Can you remember that? I think it was like a survival /BR thing we played at Gamescom that was against like robots.
Yes.
Remember that?
Done by THQ.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of the things on there a little bit. Because they look like dogs. And they had like lasers on their heads and shot you.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. I like the idea that we're actually going to get endgame. I don't know how you guys feel about that. The fact that they're confident enough in the endgame to basically be like, here's a taste of it with the invaded mission. The invaded mission to me sounds like something from Dark Souls, but I could be completely wrong on that. Because like when you do stuff on Dark Souls, you get invaded. And it looks like we've got a new faction in there that we haven't seen before. Somebody that's got some tech, if you know what I mean. Because you've got like a robotic dog with a turret, and then you see that heavy NPC in the trailer with he's got like green stuff on him.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you remember from the trailer, guys.
I only watched it once.
I've watched it a couple of times, but I can't remember the green stuff, I'll be honest. That's really bad. I only watched it yesterday.
Well, it's just interesting because that could be like the new version of the Hunters. I'm not saying it is going to be, but it looked like they were rocking. I could be wrong. I was like, I haven't seen the trailer since whenever. And
isn't the green stuff DC62 though?
It's like yellow though, isn't it?
Or greeny yellow.
Yeah, it could be.
Could be, yeah.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, it could be like our new version of Hunters, but I was trying to remember if they were rocking like an LMG or not. I think they were, but I can't remember. Obviously, there's a sweet turret in the trailer, which is pretty cool. Which is a bit weird, like no one else has seen the turret.
You mean the one on the dog's back, right?
No, there's an actual turret that players can use in the mission, by the looks of it.
Oh, no,
I
yeah.
was going to say, I'm getting real bad blank looks off people.
I know. Can't really say much about that mission because NDA.
Oh, okay. That's probably why I'm getting blank looks. Okay. What are your overall thoughts on the trailer? I'm pretty excited for it. I think it definitely, like, the fact they're throwing this much out there for people to play is pretty cool. I mean, you look at all the recent betas that people have played, like, they must be pretty confident throwing this much out there this far away from launch.
Yeah, to chuck a little bit of endgame up there at us like that means there must be a lot more to come.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, it's good.
Well, it's more than one mission. It's, you know, you get an end game characters. You're going to be able to try out the specializations. You've got the Dark Zone.
To me, it feels like they've tried to cater for all players in the beta alone, because you've got story missions, you've got side missions, you've got free and roaming activities that you can do. You've got Dark Zone PvP, you've got dedicated PvP, you've got endgame. You know, there's nothing left. Everybody's bases are covered in the beta, and you get 6 days to play it, 5 days to play it. So,
how do you guys feel about the fact that they've included the PvE mission for the Dark Zone? Because I know we're going to play missions repeatedly, but I kind of didn't want that to be the case, because you're already going to have played that particular mission to open up the Dark Zone when it launches and we pick it up.
Depends how they do it in the live game. Like, is this a placeholder PvE mission? We don't know. Are you going to have to do one of these types of PvE missions for each of the 3 Dark Zones?
Yes, you are.
There you go then. So, I mean, this is just a taste of the other 2, could be completely different. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of thinking, like, if this is like the biggest of the Dark Zones, and the mission that's going to go alongside that is going to be pretty cool, hopefully. I can imagine we're going to be setting up like some turrets and that on this PvE mission.
No idea. I mean, it could literally be anything, and they could make them completely different for each of the Dark Zones as well. You know, you don't want to sort of do a rinse and repeat for each of the 3 Dark Zones, do you? So one could be like searching for and locating intel and bringing it back to the NPC in the Dark Zone checkpoint. One of them could be discovering a landmark or some shit. I mean, the possibilities are endless, aren't they? Really. So,
I just want to say that the fact that there's a shit ton of content in this beta just speaks volume of how much they understand their community and how they know they're going to rinse and repeat all the content and like just do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like they're going to shred through it. That's why they put a lot in there, because if they just gave us a little bit, wouldn't be enough. We would just
if they know they can give you this much content for the beta
and still want us wanting more.
How much fucking content is going to be in the game?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, me and Rob have just played the Anthem beta, and like using that as context. And this is not taking.
It was a demo.
Like demo. Let's call it a different thing. Yeah, you know, the fact that they're deciding to put their game out there shows that they have faith in the game in the first place. But the fact that they're putting out that much content on a beta is freaking cool, because we played Anthem. How many missions are in Anthem? You got two PvE missions.
No, there was
like
4.
Was it 4? Was it
3 or 4 missions and then a end game activity?
I only remember 3 and 1 end game, but like 2 of them kind of felt the same. Slightly.
Well, you go back to the same place for all 3 missions. I'm pretty sure.
Well, yeah. I don't want to go into that too much, and then you pretty much get the open world, which is effectively what we're getting here, isn't it? The open world. But then we've got PvP, Dark Zone. Like you said, it's covering all the bases and so much more.
Smart decision, if nothing else.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's it for news on the beta. Is there anything you guys are actually looking forward to playing next week during the beta?
All of it?
Well, obviously.
PvP. I'm going to spend a lot of time in PvP, I think.
Which one?
I would join you for that.
Skirmish. PvP.
Yeah, the proper skirmish. It's good that you can only access one of the 3 dark zones, because then I can't rinse it completely. Do you know what I mean? I won't spend the entirety of 5 days worth of play in the dark zone and spoil it for myself. I might be able to explore every inch of the dark zone east, but then I've got, west and south left to explore when the game goes live. So I'm glad that they've done that. But yeah, I'll be in skirmish a lot with Rob. What about you?
I'm interested in the story, but I don't want to know too much before the main game launches.
Have you warned your wife?
Oh, what, that I'm playing the beta all next weekend?
You're going to be playing computer games all weekend.
Redacted. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the story missions to kind of get a taste for it. I really hope it's what I personally want from it. But I will be there with, playing PvP with you guys as well.
Yes,
definitely.
Can we just remember to warn people that this is still a beta and it's not going to be perfect, because as hyped as we are, it is still unfinished.
Well, funny enough, please don't sit by your PC, at 10 a.m. CET when this drops, because chances are you're probably going to have a few difficulties logging in. I mean, we just had a little bit of that during Anthem's launch.
When you say
demo.
a little bit.
I mean, it was a good, 7 hours? 6 hours?
48 hours.
Oh, okay. What, the whole length of the whole beta, right?
No, because it was on for Friday evening till... it was only Sunday that I managed to play properly, really.
But yeah.
Without getting kicked every 5 seconds.
We are looking forward to it. Just before we go, I did throw out very quickly in Discord, what was people's thoughts on the trailer. It was probably a little bit late, but Seamaster GMT, thank you very much for replying. He said, I'm looking forward to the whole thing, but most of all is the story missions and end game specializations. I've never been a big DZ guy. However, I hope the new game can make it more fun for me, which I think it will with that introductory mission. And
no, I think the DZ is gonna, the way they've done it is gonna entice a lot of people in there. Whether that what level they then go to in the DZ is up to them and how daring they get. But yeah, I think it's a good step in the right direction.
I don't think we're going to see any occupied dark zone either. Not at all.
No, definitely not.
I actually hope not.
Yeah.
Save that. Okay. Next up, I'll hand it over to you, Rob.
Okay. So a few weeks ago, we recorded an episode with one of the biggest members of our community. Well, not necessarily the biggest, but he's definitely the most awesomest. Is that even a word?
It is now.
I feel like you just made it a word, yeah.
Ctcunningham. Also, he's known a lot by people called Chuck. Oh, wow. I've just ruined that, haven't I? He's also known as Chuck. And we were honored to sit down with him and share a couple of beers with him and basically talk about his role in the community and his life and stuff. It was really good. So I hope you enjoy the show. Here you go.
Intercepting radio transmission. Stand by.
Okay, so we are joined today by a very awesome guest who we are very honored to have with us today on the show. Finally, it's took some time, but we've managed to get our schedules to match up. We are joined today by the one and only Ctcunningham, though I'm sure most of you will know him as Ctcunningham on Twitter and his Twitch streams. Welcome, Chuck.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Welcome to the show, Chuck. Thank you for joining us for this community episode today. How's it going? Are you well?
I'm well. Everything's good. It's Friday. Enjoying the nice, cool weather. Waiting for some more Division news, but I'm enjoying life.
Nice, man. Okay. Something we do with most of our guests, we do a couple of quick fire questions. We're going to try and keep these quick fire. They don't always end up being quick fire, but we do like to ask them anyway. So I'm going to start off today with, what is your favorite alcoholic drink, if you drink at all?
Wow, favorite alcoholic drink. It was definitely be beer. I would say that my most favorite is probably Sierra Nevada Porter. It's hard to find where I'm currently living right now. When I do get it, I cherish it. It's in the running with Breckenridge Vanilla Porter. That's also one of my favorite beers as well.
Nice.
Porter drinker. That's a bit too strong for us, I think.
I don't know what to tell you, Luke.
Is that stronger than tea, Luke? I'm not quite sure.
It's a touch stronger than tea. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
What's your favorite type of cheese?
I'm pretty basic when it comes to cheese. I would say that probably like a Colby Jack or a sharp cheddar.
Nice.
Staying on the food theme, if you ever found yourself on death row, what would you choose as your final meal?
Let's hope this is never the case.
Yeah,
though.
yeah. I don't want you on death row, obviously.
If I was on death row, wow, I would just request mom's home cooking, just whatever mom's making.
Nice.
Yeah, that's definitely what I would do.
I don't think anybody's ever said that before.
No.
What?
That's a good answer.
No. Okay. Who is your favorite recording artist or band?
Wow. So I listened to Bicycle of Death and his answer, and I started thinking about it myself, right? Music is the one thing that's like international, right? It's its own language, right? And it moves you. It can move anybody, really, right? That's what that does. And I don't think any band or music moves me as much as the Deftones does.
Nice.
Always
Good choice,
been a
man.
Deftones fan, and they're my all-time favorite.
Well, I'm not gonna disagree with that at all.
That is a great choice.
Robert?
No. You don't want to hear my opinion on Deftones. No one does.
I mean, they're not the greatest live, but
Don't say that, please. Because if I ever end up going to see them, I'll be like, oh, Chuck
it's
right, damn it.
it's a fun time. But the music's typically usually louder than the lyrics, and I couldn't hear them. So
Yeah, it sounds like a bad setup.
How many times have you seen them live then, Chuck?
4 times. 4 times.
All right, okay. If you've been enough to see him 4 times, and
He knows what he's talking about.
fair play. Just waiting for someone to wake up.
Luke, it's your next. Your question next.
Sorry. What is your favorite current TV show?
You know, I only have Netflix and like Hulu and Amazon, and I just finished watching The Bodyguard, which is a British show.
Yep.
Which was pretty good. But to say my favorite, it's a toss-up between 2. Scrubs. I'm a huge fan of that show. And then there's a show called Red versus Blue, which has Halo characters.
Yeah.
It basically represents how the military talks to each other. So I have quite the laugh sometimes. But that is probably one of my favorite shows.
Dude, Deftones and Scrubs. Fucking awesome, dude. Awesome. Keep going.
What was your first gaming system?
The first gaming system, I do remember playing Pong on an Atari with my family members, and that was fun. But the first system that I've ever purchased with my own money from my first job was the TurboGrafx 16. And
I'm going to be like, I have no idea what that is.
yeah, I don't even remember what games there was. It really wasn't around that long.
Was that a handheld?
No, it was not a handheld.
Oh.
It was kind of like memory card discs. Very thin. 16 graphics, though.
I don't think we ever
Must be a
got
bit
that in
weird.
this country. I don't remember it anyway. If we did get it.
Okay, what is the one thing you can't live without?
This is going to be a long answer.
That is a hell of a tough one. Is it food? Is it TV?
No.
Is it any form of media?
It would
Is
be
it family?
It would be family. It would be my wife and son. And the reason why is specifically my wife. She's been there for all the ups and downs, right? All the stuff I've gone through with deployments and just daily life. And then the struggles that I've had, with my son itself. Not to get all mushy and teary-eyed, but when I look at those two, it immediately tells me that things are going to be okay. So I couldn't live without them. I'd end up being, another statistic in the military if I didn't have them. That's for sure.
That's a great answer. Great answer.
Yeah. What was the last decent book you read?
And I've read this book probably 5 or 6 times. I don't remember the name of the author, but it's called Battle Royale. And they did make a movie out of it. Watch it on
that
Netflix.
movie's awesome.
The book is, typically is 10 times better. It's a really good book.
Yeah, I want to check out what is it? Freaking Ready Player One. Because I really enjoyed the film, but a lot of people recommend that the book is a lot better. Who's next?
It's the last one. Right. If you had the chance to erase your memory and play one game again as if you'd never played it before, what would that game be, Chuck?
You can't say The Division.
No, it wouldn't be The Division, honestly. And
rude.
When you had Petter on, I was driving up north, listening to the podcast, and when you asked him that question, and he said Final Fantasy IX, I literally raised my fist in the air and said yes, that would be my answer as well. Final Fantasy IX.
That's nice.
Final Fantasy VII was a great story, but as far as the storyline in Final Fantasy IX, that one hit, I guess, the nerve to say, this was a better story.
Are you pretty happy with the announcement of the new couple of Final Fantasy games coming to the Switch?
I am. I picked up the other day, I picked up Final Fantasy 15 on the Switch, and I've been kind of mucking around with it. It's a pocket version. It doesn't compare to the original release, but so far I'm having fun just mucking around with it.
Yeah, because what is it? They've just released, or they're releasing X2, or I have no idea. I don't think I've properly played any Final Fantasy game all the way through. I think I've played maybe 12 and a bit of 13.
Sure. 13 was a very linear game. There's a lot of hate for it. Hopefully they can do something with it. There is some talk about redoing it, but I'm not sure. X2 is very, we'll say, girlish, because it's got 3 main girl leads. It's very Spice Girlish. But 100% honest, I think it's got the best battle system in any Final Fantasy. It's Final Fantasy X2.
Nice, huh? Okay, let's move on to some Division talk. Okay, so can you tell us how you got involved with the Division? Obviously, the first game's been out a couple of years now. Really, what appealed to you about the game all those years ago?
Well, I'll be the one to break it, I guess. So there we were playing Destiny, and
drink.
Yeah, drink. Got it.
Motherfucker.
I got told off for this on last night's podcast.
It's usually one of you two. Now we get a guest in and he starts on it as well.
We were literally like 10 minutes before the end of the podcast and I said the word Destiny and he was like, no, we almost made it.
Well, we've had some good news this week, but hey.
No, I heard it. I read that. But we were playing Destiny. We had a pretty wide group of people, and then the announcement came for the division, and we were following that for a while. And then the release came out. And a lot of my friends during that time we were all in the military, and it seemed very appealing to us. I guess the initial reaction was, hey, you're going to have a specific class or a specific job to do in this fire team. In a military fire team is 4 people. You're going to have this specific job to do with missions to accomplish, and you're going to team up, and it's very customizable how you want to play. And that was our initial draw to the game. I mean, it's sad to say that a lot of them didn't stick with it. They didn't make it through 1.3.
Yeah, I think I would be safe to assume that we've all got a couple of friends like that.
Right. But some have vowed that they will be coming back for Division 2. Same concept.
Okay, so we know you and your family have gone through some troubling times over the past couple of years. Can you explain to the folks out there that don't know basically what your family went through and what led to you turning to the Division community as a means of support to kind of help you through this time? And I just want to preface, I did check with Chuck before we recorded this that he was okay to discuss this, because I felt really bad about asking you, to be honest, man.
You don't have to ever feel bad for asking me anything. This is the part that I'm really hoping isn't as long-winded, but it's kind of a long story, and it kind of shapes, I guess, the overall end of the question. So my son was born. He's a Star Wars baby. He was born on the May the 4th.
Nice.
And when you have a baby born, you kind of have checkups for the first couple months, first couple weeks, and stuff like that. And my spouse is a critical care nurse, a very important profession. And she had noticed something one day that, when we laid him on his back, he would raise his arms and he would kind of shake his arms around. And she seemed concerned about it. And me being me, I'm like, no, he's just discovering, his arms are like, what the hell are these cool things? And then we took him to the pediatric for a normal checkup. And my wife had brought it up to the pediatric nurse. She laid him down, and immediately his arms went in the air and they started shaking. And one of the things was, is he having reflux? Which I thought it was, because reflux does run in my side of the family. But she wanted to rule out seizures. So she referred us out in town to neurology. And we went to neurology, and they wanted to do a scan on my son's brain. And that was really when things started going, down south. They found some asymmetrical growth in the brain, and it started to snowball from there. And basically what it came down to is he was having fluid enter his brain, and there was no way for the fluid to escape. So it was just constantly filling up with fluid. The skull was not closing, and it was putting a lot of pressure on the rest of his head, and it was life-threatening. So, few months pass, and we're at Christmas time now. We're like right at the beginning of December, and the neurosurgeon, he didn't even give us a choice. He said, "We're taking your son, and we're going to put him in surgery. You don't have really rights to make a decision anymore." And during that time, from birth until that decision was made, we spent the majority of our lives in the hospital during that time. doing tests and stuff like that. But he had brain surgery. He had an artificial valve put in his head and a tube that runs from his brain down to his stomach that will disperse that fluid naturally. And during that time that I spent in the hospitals, it was very dull at times because it was constantly on our heads. We just didn't know what to say anymore. My wife and I are both fans of the story of The Division. She was prior military as well. And we kind of questioned how we would survive in a situation like that. And one day I was in the hospital, just kind of in my own head, and I was in the hallway, and the neurosurgeon came by and said, he probably noticed that the wife and I weren't talking so much. And he said, you two need to talk. You need to talk about something. Sitting here is not helping you at all. So we started talking about The Division. And from there, I've always listened to the podcast, both Bombshell and you guys. So I just opened it up on my phone and we started listening to a couple more episodes, and then we started conversing back and forth about it. And when we would go home for the night, I discovered kind of like Twitch, and we'd start watching gameplay and maybe have conversations with those streamers. And it really, whether anybody considers it selfish or not, it provided an escape from reality at that point. And I'll argue that any day, any time that you turn the game on, that's what you're doing anyway. It's just under the circumstances, I needed to do that. And that's kind of how I started, just started talking to people. I reached out with a question for you guys during that time frame, and you guys were kind enough to answer my question on the podcast. So hopefully that answers your question.
No, thank you, Joe.
Thank you for that, dude.
Obviously, thank you for sharing that with us. We know your family's gone through like huge amount of trouble over the past couple of years. And you support so many people in our community, and just being about and talking to people. I just hope that the people out there hear your story and appreciate, kind of what you've had to deal with over the past couple of years, and understand that you're not just a person on Twitter. You've got your own life and hardships, and you're well deserved to be placed in the community no matter what, dude. I think we've said before, like, you are our star player for us. You deserve it more than probably most of us, to be honest, dude.
I think I'm just me. I don't think I really deserve anything. You guys put in effort, right? So we're closing in on 150 episodes. Every week. You guys have been doing this, and my effort is just turning on Twitch or following podcasts on iTunes. You guys deserve more than that's for sure.
I disagree with that. It's still an effort.
I strongly disagree.
Turning on podcasts and Twitch isn't just as simple as you say. You're there, you're interacting, you're taking part in the streams, listening to the podcast, like you say, you're submitting the questions to it. So you're just as much as part of the community as anybody else, mate.
But it's not just us; it's a whole
everybody,
variety of people.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, let's try and get back to some more Division.
Sure.
Okay. As an avid player of the Division, what do you think of the current state of the game?
Personally, I'm fine with it, and the reason why I'm fine with it, even it does have its problems, but I'm fine working around those problems, knowing that the rest of the team is working on the Division 2. I think my main problems are more selfish reasons. Like if you're soloing a legendary mission, I shouldn't have a 243 performance mod drop. I think if you do some of the hardest content, you should get some of the better rewards. Other than that, I was doing a 1 through 30 flawless run, and I got caught in a barrier. And I'm okay with it. I kind of laughed it off because I know that the whole team is on the Division 2, and I'm excited. I'm really excited for that. So,
what level did you get to on your flawless 1 to 30, Chuck?
22, and then the Iceman, the Iced Man.
Oh yeah,
you got to level 22 before a bug in the game stopped you, and all you did was laugh it off.
Yeah, I kind of just laughed it off. The Iceman kill, that was my first 1 through 30 run. My second one was where I got caught, and that one was level 7. So I took a little break, but I might start it again. Give it a go.
Well, at least you tried, man. I don't expect we could try that.
That determination is incredible. I wouldn't try that more than once. I'm not even certain I'd try it once, but I mean,
when people say that, or at least this is from my perspective, and nobody has to agree with me, but if like, oh, the game's just boring, it's on repeat and stuff. Well, provide yourself with your own challenges, right? You paid the money for it. You can play the game however you want. And I played the game the way that development wanted me to. Now I'm going to play it for me, right?
Yep.
So if you want to do a survival run with just pistols and shotguns, that's up to you. You can make your own fun out of the game. And that's what I'm trying to do.
I know you're a fan of Foxy on obviously Twitter, Twitch, PlayStation, Discord, wherever you find that furry fuck. But I know he's a big believer in making he's a big believer in making his own challenges as well. He does a lot of the survival challenges when he used to stream a little while ago. So I'm sure he'd agree with that comment. Yeah,
I actually thought you were going to say he's a big believer in making his own challenges, like using a keyboard upside down or something. I don't know.
The challenge is on,
really?
Foxy. Keyboard upside
big
down.
Believer of terrible jokes as well.
Oh mate, his Twitter jokes are just dreadful.
Yeah, I've been actually not. You're going to hear more of it because I've been looking for a dad joke calendar so you can peel one off every day.
Nice.
And
Don't make me block you on Twitter, Chuck.
please don't.
Okay, obviously, like us, you've said you're excited for the Division 2.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
What?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you?
Oh, 10 for sure. I'm very excited for the game.
Go on, Mike. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's standard. It's fine. What are your thoughts on the Division 2? Like, how does it look in your eyes? Do you feel like it's moved on enough from the Division 1 to be a sequel?
Ooh. Honestly, I'm looking for kind of like a merger of the lore, and I don't think that's really happened too much. Okay. I thought there was going to be some tie-in with the shields. I don't see a whole lot of the tie-in. We just, as far as I'm aware, we've just been called back to go to DC because there's problems there. I'm tied to the story a lot, so I think we need to mesh that a little bit. I would like to hear a little bit more about how we got there to DC, how DC got into the state that it's in, and maybe I just have to wait to play the game to do that. But I think that would get me even more invested. Right now, my main thoughts are more like gameplay and stuff like that. I could watch the demos all day, but I really do want to just get my hands on it.
I think that's the great thing, kind of going off the demos, though, is that's such a small part of the game. That's literally an open world encounter. We haven't seen any like for us that didn't play the alpha, we haven't seen any missions or any story content from the game. So we've kind of seen like this fragment of a whole picture that is still kind of yet to be unveiled. And obviously everyone's kind of like, we want the information. We're 2 months out. We should have this information now. Why haven't we had the information yet? But there's something kind of good about that. It's a surprise. Sure. You know, how many times do you watch films and like, if you see the trailer before you've seen the film, the majority of the trailer gives away the plot of the film. And if we have that before the Division 2 comes out, you're going to know way too much about it. Yeah. I know that's been an issue. Rob's been dealing with.
No, it's just like when E3 happened and they revealed so much, I was like, stop it. You're going to ruin the game. And they've done a really good job because they literally just stopped. And they haven't given us an inkling since then.
Are you saying they listen?
Maybe. But like,
to
me, maybe.
What does Rob want us to do? Quick, write it down.
But it's kind of good because like we're all just like on the edge of our seats waiting for some news. That's like kind of, it's building hype as just by them doing that. It's very clever if it's intentional, that is.
I know it's not.
I think it.
Go on, sorry.
No, go on, Nick.
I was just going to say, I know it's not all going to be a surprise because we're obviously going to get to play the beta and stuff like that, but you're only going to get to play this game and be surprised by it once. Do you know what I mean? Every time you replay it after that, you know what's coming to a certain extent. There might be the odd mission that you didn't do in a certain way. Like Chuck says before, you can make your own challenges and stuff, but to play the game brand new, completely with like eyes that have not seen anything before, you're only really going to get to do it once. So the less information we get going in, the better, in my opinion. I know Rob agrees. Obviously, I think you agree to a certain extent as well, Mike. So
I want to know, would you boys swear off playing the beta?
No. Hell no. Unless it's exactly the same as the alpha, then
redacted.
That's the thing. I won't overplay it, but I will play it, because another thing with the beta is I want to test how good it runs on my laptop, as close to as possible with the end build. Do you know what I mean? So,
what with those sweet PC specs just come out?
Exactly.
Is this confirmation Luke might actually upgrade?
No,
I've redacted.
Chuck, are you thinking about trying to get on PC in the coming year or so?
I am. I keep saving money in a good chunk of it, and then there's some kind of charity or natural disaster that happens, and I end up giving that away, and just telling myself like I don't need a computer right now as much as these people need food. So I'm trying to button down a little bit more. I do have money set aside, and I'll get it. I do have a pretty big vacation coming up here soon, so shortly after that, I'll be purchasing a PC. Yes.
Well, if you need any help, I'm sure we can try and help you put something together if need be, dude.
Sure, man. Appreciate it.
We got a resident technician who unfortunately wasn't on the PC Spec podcast, which
yeah, sorry,
didn't make any sense.
I was busy building PCs.
Were you?
No. Oh. Not in the slightest.
Probably busy reading about PCs.
Yeah, maybe.
Watching YouTube videos on Division, probably.
I'm currently building a PC for my dad.
Oh, you're building it?
Yeah, I'm building it.
I thought you were just telling him what to get.
No, I'm building it for him.
I think literally the only thing his dad's doing is paying for it, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to let him play it when you're finished?
No. I'm going to keep it. It's better than my PC for help. It's going to be crazy.
Well,
you're spending a lot of money.
Your dad's not going to know, right? Just give him your one if that one's better.
Oh. Well, just do what he said the other day when you were on about paying him back.
Swap bits out. You won't even know
right?
it.
Yeah.
Rob, why does this say this graphics card in this processor?
No, his graphics card's not going to be better than mine, but the rest of it is. But yeah, it's fine. He listens to the podcast. I can't do it now, guys. Cheers. Jesus.
Damn it.
Ruined it.
Okay, Chuck, do you have any hopes or dreams for the Division 2, whether that be missions, games, mode, or story? Raids.
I'd like to hear Chuck's opinion on what the raids are going to be like.
Wow. Okay, so
without using Destiny as an example.
This is more of a theory, and I could be completely wrong, but we know that raids are up to 8 people. There's not much more information that we know about it other than that. Now, I was just driving around one day, and I thought, well, what if it can be completed by 8 people? And that's the max. But you can complete it by 4 people, right? And the less people that you have in your team, the greater the reward would be. Where we're used to playing in incursions or something like that with just 4 people, it's kind of where we stall at, right? Having 8 people to complete the raid, hey, you get your rewards, but if you go back down to your normal fire team, the rewards are greater.
So would you, on that same vein, would you like them to be soloable?
No.
No.
I think raids themselves should be a partnered group.
Yeah. Agreed.
Do you think they should be more casual?
No.
No.
Hardcore. I think it should have some hardcore mechanic to it. I think you need to put in the time to create a build that not only does what you need to do, but it helps other people do what they need to do as well.
Well said. No, I completely agree. It's just kind of difficult because I know one of the things with new people coming to the Division, especially if they haven't played anything like Destiny, and it's a huge complaint off the back of Destiny is, a lot of casual people or casual players of Destiny kind of find the fact that they can't run the raids, or they have difficulty doing the raids, an issue, and they want obviously that to be reduced. And then you're going to have possibly the same situation in the Division 2 when we have raids, and you're going to have 8 people in there. And as unfair as it sounds, I do kind of agree with you, where it's the hardest content of the game. It's what we're making, what we're grinding for, is what we're making the builds for, it's what we're spending all that time investing into, so we can go run some of the hardest content in the game. And yeah, it's just nice to hear from someone other than us have a similar opinion.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking, like, not to relate the two or whatnot, but Destiny, if you were running Crota, for instance, for the first time, and you didn't have any of that raid gear whatsoever, it was difficult to get through that, right? And the more and more you gathered that gear, the easier it became. And I would like to see, or maybe hoping so, that as an 8-man fire team, you start collecting this gear that makes the raid manageable, and you can start shrinking down your fire team a little bit, where you can do it. And maybe, if you complete it with 4 people, you get 2 exotics or something like that.
Yeah. No, that sounds good. It'd be kind of cool, as long as they don't allow sharing of the raid gear in the Division.
I agree 100%. Yes.
Yeah. Depending within your fire team that has completed the raid.
Yeah.
Like that.
Makes it replayable.
Yeah. Okay, so next question. Obviously, I can do this one up if you want, or do you want to?
No, it's fine.
Okay, so obviously, as a huge part of the community, can you basically go over the good and the bad of the community that we have here at the Division,
and the ugly,
and the ugly,
and the ugly? If you want to talk about Rob, can
no
shots fired.
At this point in in whatever I'm planning to do. It's kind of a stalemate because I don't really know what I want to do. But the good, bad, and the ugly. The good is 100% the unity and communication within the community. I'm talking developers down to streamers, down to fans. Information, helping people out. It happens, right? Except for Division 2 news. We don't have any information. But I think that communication is really good. I don't know of any other developer that when they do have a state of a game, sit there and kind of put a plan forward for the rest of the community. And it gives us something to look forward to. The bad, and this is just personal. I don't. I think at least bad for me is I think I'm known as the guy that is the charitable one. And I think now people just fucking expect it. Excuse my language.
No, that's fine.
Which turned mighty ugly, getting DMs like, hey man, I'm doing this. Do you mind supporting? Do you have something spare that you can to support it? I'll promote you. And, I kicked myself in the ass because I jumped on it. I said, yeah, sure. I'll definitely support you. And I felt dirty about it originally because it's just not who I am. I don't want to promote myself in that kind of way, but I did it. And I really kicked myself in the ass for it. And the penalty for doing that is I watched the event and, it was, hey, we're going to promote your channel. They didn't promote it at all either. And, that's my own penalty. And I chalk it up as, you're the dirty motherfucker. You should just eat this and look in the mirror and don't do that again. So that's what I did. The ugly side of things is the toxicity within the community. I don't think it just stems from viewer to streamer. I think some content creators cause psychologically, I guess, start the toxic, have people create the conversation. They know what the outcome is going to be of that conversation.
Yeah, people have deliberate toxic communities, don't they? Some streamers,
yes.
Anyway.
And it spreads. Cancer is the correct word. It spreads. If you don't like it, you can voice your opinion. That's fine, but don't hell bent and try to sell it on other people. I don't like. I mean, that's just me. I don't like it. I try not to buy into it, but I think that's ugly for the community itself.
I think it's also a case of don't sabotage what other people enjoy as well, because just because you don't enjoy something, I kind of feel like it's the case of, well, this is terrible. I'm going to keep on being like this negative person constantly. And especially you see content creators do that. It feels sometimes like it's on purpose because they get a reaction out of people, and that reaction is obviously a following, and they're the people that end up building off of that negative reaction. And it's the people they bring with that negative reaction as well that also helps develop a lot of the toxicity that we have, not only in our community, but it happens in all communities, not just the Division. You look at Siege, you look at Destiny, Call of Duty, and any game out there I expect has a huge amount of toxicity that is based around something like this.
For sure. Just listening to some streams when they're playing Rainbow Six and listening to the group chat, it is really bad. And I'm like, all right, I'm never doing that. Because I listen through the audio through my TV, and my son would... You could teach them to say please and thank you 100 million times. But the moment you say fuck, it's that's his favorite word.
Yeah. My wife taught my 3-year-old to say shitty sausage earlier. And he kept saying it.
I'm trying not to laugh.
Again.
I think I told this to Luke before we went live yesterday, and I was downstairs. I can't remember what I was doing. My wife was taking my son upstairs, and he's 3 years old, and he was like, "Mummy, can you turn the freaking light on?" And I was like, "What? Can you turn?" But he said it polite. He wasn't like,
yeah, but at least he's not saying fucking.
No,
Yeah,
but
your son's
it's still
what,
not
3?
good. Yeah,
That will escalate. Just get him onto the podcast. That'll escalate.
Thing is, when they get to a certain age, they learn not to say them. Like my 12-year-old, he knows not to say certain words in front of his parents. I'm guaranteed he will say them when we're not around.
Yeah.
But like he knows when and where not to say them.
So, quick question for you then, Rob. Your 12-year-old is Alex, right?
Yeah.
Who we've played Siege with.
Yeah.
If he swears with us while we're playing Siege, what is your instant reaction? Do you tell him to not swear, or are you like, yeah, it's fine?
I will go and take his laptop away from him.
he's like, "Go to bed."
Yeah, and go to bed.
Fair enough.
But he won't. He's programmed not to do it. Like me and his because he's my stepson. Me and his dad at my wedding tried to make him to swear, and we couldn't do it. Like he wouldn't swear in front of us, which is yeah.
Who'd have thought it? Damn, Robert. Was it you or was it your wife that imprinted
She
that
wasn't
one?
there, but like, yeah, she would have been disappointed.
Well, to be fair, your wife's trying to teach your son to say shitty sausage, so I guess it's not her.
Yeah, but no, he's just repeating what she said.
Fair enough. Just going back to what you said about the good parts of the community with regards to the communication. I think that's something that isn't talked about enough, especially by some content creators, is the amount of effort the team that are on the state of the game, and the people that are on the forefront on social media for the division, and how much toxicity they get on like their main profiles on Twitter, the amount of toxicity they get on the state of the game itself as well, and they ignore it. Like you said, there's no other game that puts out something like the state of the game every week, no matter how bad the game is. And I know they can't always, they're under NDA.
You say every week. It hasn't been every week for a while.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. But
it was every week.
I can only imagine.
For a long time.
They take a lot of shit, and I feel like a lot of people don't appreciate them sat there with thousands of people
berating them.
Yeah, in a nice way of putting it. Yeah,
they're brave to sit there in front of them. They do a really good job mitigating that kind of stuff, and my hat's off to them. I think they do a great job.
Yeah, they're freaking awesome. Okay, so finally, is there anything you think the teams at Ubisoft and or Massive could do to bring the community together more?
I think there needs to be like a DivCon.
Yes.
How awesome would that be? I know other groups have their own convention. I think a division convention would do awesome. Even, we at first probably wouldn't hit the numbers as many people, but I can almost guarantee that the people that would go to a first division convention would be the best people.
Yeah.
The devout.
The devout. and I think it would be really good. Now, do the developers need to do that? No, but they could support it, and
yeah, because
hey, maybe show up
the Destiny version drink Guiding Con.
I was like, Destiny drink? What? A double drink then.
That's streamer support, isn't it? That's like literally run by all the streamers that, like, that have got big since Destiny came out.
Yep.
And they kind of payrolled it, and they got supporters involved, and yeah, it would be cool if I did the same thing.
Love to see a Division convention.
I think it'd be a lot of fun, especially if it was planned right.
So Marco, if you're listening, people would probably
get
back
WIDs
you.
involved.
Yeah, get WIDs involved. It'd have to be European, though, I'd imagine.
Well, I just want to put a place down. Maybe this is just an idea. Malmo, Sweden, it's round the corner from somewhere. Maybe, I don't know. Possibly. Yeah, DivCon would be amazing. I know a few people have discussed it. I know we've had a few discussions with a couple of people before about it. It's something I think we'd definitely like to be a part of.
Yeah.
Attend.
I don't know how we would be a part of it, just due to our normal lives, just due to us as content creators. We're not like Marco style or anything like that. But for us, I think it would be really cool to see. I definitely agree off the basis of it would be the good people that would go to DivCon when it is so small. Because if you look at the division now, not necessarily now, but maybe 6 months ago, 3 to 6 months ago, you had like this small kind of community, but it was all kind of the good people that was left after everyone kind of, it was kind of like most of the haters and the toxicity creating people kind of
a matured
left.
Community.
Yeah.
They'd all moved on, haven't they?
Yeah, but it's also like the fact that we're 3 years into the life cycle of the division, and how many cosplayer photos do you see? Shout out to Captain Kevin. He put out some awesome Division 2 cosplay photos. But like it seems to be every week you're seeing new cosplayers, new content creators from that side, and there's something about the division, and I don't know what it is, but it really does pull people in. And when I say I don't know what it is, I just can't explain what it is. Like I'm hooked on it. Reading the Extremist Malice comic book this week, like that for me was an extension of the lore and the story that we've waited 3 years for.
Sure.
And it's just like we're finally getting additional stuff.
It's too short though. It's too fucking short.
Dude, it's 72 pages if you get the hardback. You just have to wait till July.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't wait.
I'll be reading that this weekend. Hopefully my wish of tying the story together is somewhere within those pages. I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. Are you going to pick up the book?
I pre-ordered the book. I'm going to do a digital read this weekend.
Nice. Rob, something you might not know about Luke, he's actually bought a book.
Yeah, I can read, motherfucker.
You can read.
I can read. I pre-ordered the Broken Dawn novel by Alex Irvine yesterday. All the Extremist Malice talk reminded me that I'd not pre-ordered it yet. So I was like, fuck it. Get on it. It's like £8 on Amazon as well. It's fucking bargain.
My only thing with it is I want a hardcover. Like,
why?
Because I like books in hardcovers.
Because he's a nerd, that's why.
I'm a fucking nerd. I don't care. You bunch of nerds. You sat here with me.
What? Didn't the first book by Alex Irvine sell out and went really expensive for a while, right?
Yes.
The
So
survival.
to get it for £8 is kind of a steal.
Yeah, £8 Amazon.co.uk.
Yeah, because how much was the survival guide? That was like £15 at one point.
I can't remember, but I agree with Rob. It definitely sort of sold out and was selling for like 20, 25 quid at some point.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Luke, I know you've read the Survival Guide. Rob, what are your thoughts on the Survival Guide?
You haven't lent it to me yet. Still, after 3 years of me asking.
Hey, it's fine. Chuck, did you enjoy the survival book?
I did. I love it. It is a good book. I like search around New York City and kind of like retracing the steps.
Yeah.
Good time.
Yeah, I was just thinking of what you said on the podcast where we talked about the Extremist Malice book. That literally is a companion book for the Division 1. I think the comic is a little bit more than that. But yeah.
Are you going to get Broken Dawn as well, Chuck?
Oh, absolutely.
Good man.
Okay, well, I guess that's it for today's show. Chuck, can you tell the awesome listeners where they can find you?
If you want to find me, you just look on the Twitter, Ctcunningham 020.
Twitch?
And you can find me from there. Twitch is twitch.com/Ctcunningham. I'm a very mediocre streamer, but I do love just chatting while I play the game. So feel free to stop on by.
You do have one of the best emotes that has ever been released on Twitch. I will say that for you.
See, Luke is saying that, right? Because I reached out to him and asked for some advice for like a logo and stuff.
Whoa! Logo and emotes are completely different, dude. Don't get it twisted.
And he sent me back a picture, and I liked it, and I kind of wanted to maybe if there's time to kind of explain the whole emote. I think every human's got two sides, right? They have a good side and a bad side, and really how you fall is which one you feed. And for the Division community and kind of what I'm doing outside of uniform, I tend to feed the good side. So it's kind of me. And I want to thank Luke for kind of inspiring me to go that route. So thanks, Luke.
You're welcome, dude. Anytime.
Yeah. Yep.
You son of a bitch, Luke.
Like I said, that was his logo. That's nothing to do with his emote. His emote is still one of the best on Twitch.
Yeah, agreed. Especially Rob, with the wings.
We had a question the other week from Boris. I don't know if you want to read it out, Luke. It was question 4 yesterday.
Fuck you, Boris. There's my answer.
It's kind of that. I think the question 4 from yesterday was just fuck off. Good old Boris.
Lad.
Crazy Russian bastard.
Honestly, Chuck, I'm so glad we could kind of finally catch up with you. You know, we've been talking over DMs and Twitch and God knows what over the past couple of years. So it's nice to actually finally sit down and have a chat with you, man. Thank you.
Chuck's a proper OG, isn't he? He's been around for ages supporting us.
He's been around since like when I started streaming Division, which was a long time ago.
If I'm not wrong, Chuck, you were listening to the podcast before I was on it, right?
That is correct, yes. I've been listening to the podcast for a very
pre-Luke Malla.
Yeah.
My question then, before we go, did it get better or did it get worse?
Oh, don't answer that. No, don't answer that.
After Luke came in, it's gotten better, for sure. No, the first couple episodes were
brutal.
Were rough. But every now and then when I need a good laugh, I'll turn those ones on. And I really appreciate, you guys are the best, honestly. I owe you guys a lot, believe it or not. So
you don't owe us anything, dude. Nothing at all.
No, not at all, dude. Like I said, every single time it comes up, at the end of the day, we would be doing this if we were just in a Discord. You know, we would be talking about the game if we were in Discord. Me and Rob talk about stuff at work, and that was the whole basis for this. This is how it all started in the first place, and it was also do you do a Destiny podcast? Unfortunately, Luke, I know you're going to hate that, but unfortunately, that podcast is no longer running. And
which podcast?
It was
in Orbit. What? No, it was Guardian Radio, right? No,
it's not
the other one.
Radio. They closed down recently. I can't remember the bloody name.
I remember it's BB Dragoon and his mate. I can't remember the name of the podcast.
Oh my god. I'm going to have to look before we go.
Crucible Radio was
Crucible Radio was great, but it wasn't. It was the short and snappy version of Guardian Radio.
Destiny the Show.
Destiny the Show, yeah, DTS. That was it.
If it wasn't for those guys, I don't think we would have ever.
No, they inspired us a lot. Their podcast was insanely good.
Well, I'll definitely send them a thank you because you guys were inspired by it and you started doing what you're doing. So I'm like, look, I've never listened to you at all, but thanks.
And they would be like, we don't even know who these idiots are anyway, so it's fine. No, honestly, it's nice to finally catch up because it's been a long time coming, and
too long.
We're gonna have to do this again.
Oh, absolutely,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
anytime.
6 months.
Anytime.
In 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Instead,
episode 200.
Yeah, let's do it. 200. Yeah, why not? Get Jack on. There you go. It's organized now.
Let's get to 150 first, boys. I mean, I know
that's almost a
we've
year away. Can't make him wait that long. Fuck, I wanted him on next week.
Right. Anyway, let's go. Bye, guys.
Take care. Thanks.
Okay, so thank you very much for listening to the community episode. We hope you enjoyed it here at SITREP Radio. Just before we go, we do have a few questions. First one's from Stoifen yesterday, who said, "Who's your favorite cheese farmer?" Robert, I'm going to go to you on this one first.
I don't know the answer to this question.
Can I answer this one?
Yes.
Rob's dad.
I was going to say, surely he's duty bound to say that his favorite cheese farmer is his dad.
I mean, that's playing favorites, right? No comment by the looks of it, Luke.
Stone Mills G, 2 things. Wording on Endgame. Try out 3 of the specializations. He admits he's grabbing at straws, but he wants to know do we think there will be more specializations in the future? And secondly, the flag at the end of the trailer, white and orange stripes. Is this just an effect, or are they hinting towards something else?
I would probably just say it's an effect. Because it's like obviously the division's colors mixed in with the flag. But it could be wrong. As for trying out three of the specializations, grabbing at straws that there might be more in the future, I'm pretty sure we asked Ubisoft Sam if there was going to be more specializations in the future, and she said she can answer that or something like that. You remember? It's a long time ago on the podcast.
No, she said there was 4, and then she changed her answer.
She said I think
it was Tinks that asked this, if I remember right, not us.
I don't know if it was Tinks that asked it. I know it was Tinks that alerted us to it on Twitter.
Mm.
And then Terry Spear got involved and said that he was nobody to argue with Sam.
Basically confirming it.
Yeah, basically
without
confirming
actually confirming it.
Exactly, yeah. I can neither confirm nor deny sort of answer. I mean, without that, I would have still said I think there'd be more specializations. For raids, you're getting an 8-man team. Doesn't really split very well between 3 specializations, so I would expect 4. But I mean, with the free content and the episodes and stuff we're getting in the DLCs along the way, maybe there'd be 5 or 6 specializations by the time they release them all, so who knows?
Yeah, we're due 3 drops of DLC. Well, I say DLC, but like 3 extra bits, aren't we?
Yeah.
Would make sense to bring out an extra one each time.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Maybe we'll see that over gear sets in the future.
Yeah.
And lastly, via email, Nicholas Round, he said,
Wait. We got an email.
Yes, we did get an email. That's what I'm trying to...
Holy shit.
If you read let me finish my fucking sentence, Rob. Not sure if you will get this. I guess email is old school now. Robert. He did go on to ask a load of questions on incendiary grenades. However, unfortunately, we're not taking any more questions on incendiary grenades. But he did say, keep up the good work with the show. Not long for the bait. And maybe catch you in the dark zone. So thank you very much, Nick. And shout out to Wilco, you son of a bitch. Roberts, where can the listeners find us, dude?
You can find us over at SITREP Radio on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, as well as our personal accounts. Send any questions or feedback for the show to sitradiopod@gmail.com, like Nick did. Or you can find us on Discord. The link's in the show notes. We want to hear your thoughts on the news and topics we cover, so to be sure, comment and join the discussion in any of those places. Luke?
Please leave a review of the show using the podcast app of your choice. We really do enjoy reading them all. The feedback is genuinely excellent, and at the end of the day, it does actually help other people to find our show. If you listen all the way to the very end of the show, you will hear all the juicy details about the other awesome shows that are available on the Mash Those Buttons network. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you very much for people that have been putting up reviews. We have been seeing them. I mean, we don't. It feels a bit pig-headed to read them out on the show, but shout out to RealK.man and Seamaster GMT. Thank you very much for the awesome reviews that you guys have been putting out there. It really means a lot, and it's very much appreciated. Anyway, we do live stream as often as we can, so if you're interested in dropping by and chatting with us whilst we play The Division and some other games, you can find us all over at twitch.tv/SITREP Radio. Also, guys, the beta isn't under NDA, so we will probably be streaming that over the weekend.
Most definitely.
Just saying. Anyway, we have been SITREP Radio. Thank you very much for listening, agents, and we will catch you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
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 Oh my God, Luke, you said bye. Yo, what's happening, guys? It's your boys, and we're back again with another episode of SITREP Radio.
Jared, please use that. Please.
No, you can put it in. You can put it in at the end. The bit where I tell Rob to suck a dick.
You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secure.